Hello, and welcome to Let's Talk Spoop. I'm your host, Don, and today, in my continuing of Halloween October, we are going to discuss Halloween Tree, Season of the Witch, which I watched on Cinemax Go, that I forgot to cancel my 7-week temporary subscription to, 7-day temporary subscription to, and thusly accidentally paid $10 for. So that's cool. Anyway, so like I said, Cinemax Go. So as per usual on Let's Talk Spoop, we will break things down into 6 separate categories. Those 6 separate categories are story, acting, music, atmosphere, look, and creep. So let's go ahead and jump on in. So the movie opens... so backstory before we start talking about this movie. So Halloween 3 is part of the Halloween series. However, it was John Carpenter's intention to not continue the story of Michael Myers in the Halloween franchise. His intention had been the first 2 are the story of Michael Myers, and then he was going to make an anthology of separate Halloween-themed stories. And thus we got Season of the Witch. After Season of the Witch, they went back to making Michael Myers movies. But initially, that had not been the intention. So Season of the Witch has no Michael Myers in it. It is not even a slasher film. It is what I would think of as a supernatural horror or a psychological thriller, although not really either of those things. But still, there's some supernatural elements, thusly probably slip it into supernatural horror for you. So, it opens October, Saturday the 23rd, which is a nice callback to the previous movie's opening with, the date of October 31st, right? You got a guy, he's running from a car, he tries to hide, and then he ends up being choked almost to death by a surprisingly expressionless human being, which I thought at first was just bad acting, but it turns out they're supposed to be expressionless, so no points against acting there. Cuts 1 hour later, rainstorm's going on, the chase guy finds help, and then the guy who helped the chase guy watches him ride off in an ambulance. We get introduced to the main character, who is a fairly average-looking middle-aged man, which I thought was interesting that they went with that as a main character instead of being like some really good-looking dude or something like that. He's just like an average-looking dude who's a doctor, and he is going to take care of the guy we saw in the opening. The guy we saw in the opening sees the Silver Shamrock Halloween mask commercial playing in the background, which we get repeatedly throughout this movie. If you have never seen this movie and you have never heard this fake jingle, do yourself a favor. Don't look it up. It'll never leave you, and it will haunt your dreams for all eternity. Anyway, so he hears the jingle. He claims that everybody's going to die, and then he gets murdered extremely awkwardly by a guy gouging his eyes out at the same time that he rips his jaw off, which is weird. Dead guy's daughter comes in on the 27th to play the hot lady. She and the doctor go to investigate the circumstances behind her father's death. Find out that the doc is in fact a playa. He gets it on with the dead dude's daughter and apparently has a relationship with a girl working in the coroner's office. The story kind of picks up from there. I don't want to go into too much more detail. I don't want to give any spoilers. Also, you do not need a spoiler from this movie in order to understand what happens in Halloween 4. The spoiler you needed was the spoiler I revealed in the last video. So, if you didn't catch that spoiler, go listen to the last video again. Anyway, the story is pretty unique after this point, especially for someone in the horror genre. I thought that it was quite good story-wise, but, you know, it's also kind of dated, and parts of it are kind of a little weird. It lulls a bit. So I give it a 3 out of 5 for story. Acting. The characters are grandiose and over-dramatic. It kind of reminds me of watching a stage play, which I kind of enjoyed, honestly, given the subject matter. So a 3 out of 5 for acting. The music, oh god. The godforsaken commercial jingle. Please help. Send help, please. 5 out of 5 for music. Atmosphere. It's fairly engaging, but it's nothing special. 2 out of 5 for atmosphere. The look, it's all right. There's an obvious mannequin getting burned to death instead of a human. Blood looks super fake. There's a pretty cool dead face at one point in it, though. Some other kind of cool things that they did, but it doesn't make up for like the kind of phoned in feel of the other special effects. So 2 out of 5 for look. Creep. So the not bad visuals and the kind of what if scenario that kind of spins for you about like what if something like this could happen that didn't have the supernatural elements, right? Kind of makes it a little bit creepy. Not super creepy, but a little bit creepy. So 2.5 out of 5. One of the cool things I enjoyed about this movie is that it toots its own horn. It is produced by John Carpenter, and at a point in the movie, they're talking about the classic slasher film Halloween, which I thought was just kind of funny. And then it plays the Halloween theme at a different point in the movie, so it's kind of like a cool callback because of their intention to make it an anthology and have it in their own universe, right? So just kind of cool, I thought. But anyway, so we tally up our scores, and we get a 2.8 out of 5 skulls for Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.